I said, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that was
Can't
pretty
get
good.
this bitch. You gotta flow with it.
And
Has
it's
to be
funny because we
natural.
never even did this before. This is something that I'm trying, something new.
So first time for everything.
Oh, it definitely is. I wanted to give you guys a new perspective. Didn't want to give just a male perspective on this topic. This topic is kind of touchy. Today, on episode 5,
Let's get ready for it.
we are talking about double standards, people. What do you think? Do we all play in the double standards gray area? Or do you think one gender plays a little bit more? Hate to say it. Let's start out by saying I am motherfucking Jones, aka Slime Rel,
Gang.
also known by my government, Rel. And I have my esteemed guest, young writer and a poet.
Yes, gang.
Speak
Hello.
to him,
How
speak
y'all
to
doing?
him.
I'm Desiree. Y'all could call me Young Desi, Desiree, whatever y'all want.
What can they find you at? What
Y'all can find me on Instagram at Fuck It. That's PHUCKK. 3 I's, 2 T's. Fuck it. That's a motto. Just fuck it. Sometimes it be like that.
Mad extra letters.
Always. I'm
Mad
extra.
letters.
But
All right.
get back to the gender roles because I'm ready. I'm focused. I'm ready to talk.
See, you already
I'm ready
just
to talk my ish.
See, that's what I'm saying. You already just ready to talk your ish, and you don't even know what we talking about.
I don't.
I said
but
double
I'm ready.
standards, and you said gender roles. Now, if you want to get there, we could get there.
Oh no, that's deep right there.
That's too deep.
Okay. So let's
Now,
start.
let's start somewhere.
Baby steps.
I feel like somewhere between fighting for equality and actually receiving more motion on the positive side rather than the negative side, because granted, you can't change the world in one day. But I feel like once we spent so much time looking at one side, we let so many things go by that we just don't accept from one side to the other.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying? And that's why I wanted to speak on most of these double standards that be
That's a fact.
making things happen and not happen. You know what I'm saying?
Even to start off with talking about being emotional and receiving emotion, you have to be emotionally intelligent.
That's a fact.
So not many people even have the capacity to even receive what that other person is trying to get to them.
Nah, you hit it right on the head, because if you think about it, if you think solely with emotion, that intelligence part is the logic.
blurry.
So if you don't have that, how can you
Right.
maneuver?
The lines blur.
The lines
at that
blur,
point.
and that's just what I wanted to talk about.
The lines are
Because these blurred lines are having so many things
blurry.
obscured and exposed, I want to say.
Okay.
Whether it be, misogynistic tendencies that are being like passed down, whether it be things that we make excuses for,
Right,
i.e.,
that's a big issue in this
i.e.
generation.
happy wife, happy life. I'm gonna get
Look,
back.
I'm smiling, but
because I'm gonna get back to that.
Oh, we could
I'm gonna
definitely
get back to that.
Happy
I'm gonna get
life,
back to
happy
that.
life.
But look, what I wanted to start out with was I feel like the whole men are trash, women are trash, whatever have you, that whole rigmarole that's been going on is kind of redundant, don't you think? It's kind of repetitive.
Okay, with that phrase, it's played out, it's tired. Niggas ain't shit. Like, you could really say that about anybody, because I'm the type of person I base everything off the content of your character and how you are as a person. Not
Dr.
about,
Martin Luther King, B.
You heard?
Still February, you heard?
Facts. I mean, it's always our month. Don't
That's
get
a
me started.
fact.
But,
That's a
we
fact.
talk about
No,
something else.
That's a fact.
But definitely, I feel like the niggas ain't shit thing. I mean, as a woman, for a long time, I never jacked that. But now it's like, it's played out.
It's played out, I think, just because I actually was having a very good conversation with one of my best friends last night. We were talking like the gender roles like you touched on, the gender roles aren't being honestly talked about. So if they're not being honestly talked about, this is why we have so many disconnects and misunderstandings, because it's like, yeah, you want to be independent, but then you want to be taken care of.
I just feel like
What's the
with sexism, the battle of the sexes, and this whole idea since the beginning of time that a woman is supposed to be a specific and certain way and carry herself in that manner, and then a man has a certain way. So we have been divided since always. So now that everything is resurfacing, we really have to learn each other again.
Yeah.
And that's the hardest part, because
Look up, Molly.
you
Say
hard-headed,
cheese.
or that's just not your upbringing. You wasn't raised to communicate or take things head on, or like focus on it just, I feel like it varies with the individual.
It definitely does. It definitely does, and you can't expect someone to presume those roles if you're not doing the necessary work to presume those roles. If you could follow what I'm saying, like you got people that are expecting a man to do certain things and be certain ways, and once he is not or she is not, you're automatically taking shots at their character.
I mean, that's true.
But why is that, you think?
My thing is, I feel like the word expectation is a setup in itself. Don't expect nothing from nobody.
What about blind expectations? People don't even know they're expecting sometimes.
Regardless, you put a word in front of it, it's still, you're expecting something out of another human. At the end of the day, nobody owes you shit. Nobody got to do nothing to please you or accommodate to your liking, because at the end of the day, it's my world, And that sounds selfish, but you have to understand, like back to what you're talking about with the blind expectation. Either way, you want this out of somebody, but at the end of the day, we all know people do what they want. They have that choice. And then whether they're going to make the choice to rock with you and be loyal with you and, try to communicate and build with you, or they're going to make the decision to not. And that's where people get blinded by this whole idea that you expect people to do something for you.
Yeah, and it wasn't like I was saying, like they're blinded by expectation. I was trying to say it more so as they're not aware that they're expecting.
That's true.
Because if you're getting or moving throughout situations and expecting blindly, you're always disappointed. That's why you constantly choose the things that you think you want.
Definitely.
Because it's easier for you. You're used to that. But then if you didn't do the actual work to be like, oh, damn, this is what I want from someone.
Exactly. I was thinking that right now.
Because you can't even, you can't say, I expect X, Y, and Z if you can't do that yourself. You know what I mean?
Facts. I feel like with this topic right here, we kind of like on the same level. Because at the end of the day, a person has to do for themselves. Like, I can't help a man that refuses to do anything for himself as a man. I can't change a man. A man has to want to change himself. And I'm not here to change nobody. I would like to help you improve, and that's towards changing, but the perception is different. Because it's more of a like
partnership.
Yeah, like you're building towards something.
And people don't understand that. Just like this, social media age or whatever the case may be. Yikes. I'm starting this YouTube channel. It's very new. Like and subscribe, if you would like to.
You heard him.
But like I said, I'm new to this, so I had to do my due diligence. I had to do my research. So if you're going to, that's the problem. It's so easy to get into a relationship.
Right.
If you're not gonna do the necessary, exactly. If you're not gonna do the necessary work to keep that relationship, or at least take the necessary steps to go towards what you want or what you're expecting, then it'll be a little bit different,
Yeah, that's true though, because everything takes maintenance. I feel like you have to maintain the objective goal, or like whatever you guys are shooting for. You have to be on some sort of the same page and work with each other, because let's say she may act this way and you don't like that, but for her and her journey, has made a step, and this is her first step, and she's learning herself and she's trying to do better. Be patient with her, because she's also a work in progress, just like you.
Now, patience kind of comes hand in hand with also knowing the situation you're in. Correct? Because I can voice to you, I can communicate to you that I would like for you to be patient while I work through something. Correct?
Okay.
Now, if I don't know what I'm necessarily working through, how do you expect someone to be patient?
Well, patience is a true virtue, and you really have to have that embedded. Like, you really have. That's a skill. I feel like a lot of things in life now are skills you have to work towards.
Fact.
You know? So, if you don't work on your patience and you don't get in your zen and try to focus yourself and really try to hone in on what you're feeling and get it together, you're gonna get moved by the things that happen to you in life, and especially when dealing with other humans, because you know, like, interaction and all that is just, you know,
it's different. But you gotta, all right, before we touch on my next episode's topic, which is dating, you better wait for that.
Slow down.
Yo, slow down. You're going too fast, B. You going wet.
I talk too much. I'm sorry.
No. Look, all right. I want to bring it back to the double standard of the societal bonds that we have as our gender roles and as men and as women moving throughout this life, right?
Definitely.
So you think about it. Why are women praised for doing things that most women would consider taboo?
What's an example?
I want to say I want to touch on something that's like super not, personal, like,
Okay.
all right, so being super vocal or, like a Cardi B.
Okay, so why does somebody praise that?
Why do we praise that from men, but like people like Cardi B, they got so much scrutiny for it?
I mean, it goes back to what I said earlier about we have been literally conditioned to believe that a woman is supposed to be one way and a man is supposed to be another way. So a Cardi B, I mean, I love Cardi B. Like, she's not one of my role models and I don't look up to her, but like her grind and her hustle and her realness, I respect that.
You have to.
And originality is what I gravitate towards because I love people that are authentic. So a Cardi B, she had a crazy teeth. She was a stripper. She didn't give a fuck. And that's the beauty of life, not giving a fuck. Because at the end of the day, you're not going to tell me how I'm supposed to be. And I cannot tell you how you should be.
Ha. You gave me a perfect segue.
Let's go.
Why? Perfect. Why is it that, and you guys will see all of the things that I'm talking about and showing her as well. Why is it that a man who refuses to change for a woman is an asshole, weak, abusive, not a man, and a woman who refuses to change for a man is considered strong, self-loving, and self-respecting? Let me finish. Do you think it's because of the necessary fact that, like you said, for generations we've had this idea of what women are supposed to be and what men are supposed to be? Right. So the fact that when they wanted to stray or actually be themselves or whatever the case may be, or they didn't fit that mold, we tore them down. So is it more so of the latter effect of us being so shitty?
That's a good point. I mean, everything in history you can trace back to it, or like in a general sense, women, people always thought like women are the nurturers.
Which
we're the
you guys
loving
are.
ones. Like we are the ones that heal men or whatever. And
No.
the men are men are the providers, the strength, and like that's what I'm just saying what typically people are raised to believe. Men don't show emotion, they are strong. Like, typically in like a basic thought.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you said nurturing, but then you linked it to men.
No, I'm just saying like gender standards.
All right, so nurturing, period.
Yeah, like
okay.
That's what we're supposed to do.
Usually it goes like
because we create life, so we the nurturers.
Exactly.
But not even all women want to have kids, or it could really get into details. See, you judge, don't be judgy.
No, I judge only because a lot of the times when you don't, or when you have discussions with these people, and I only say these people because it's a thought. They have a common thought. There's never really a
Reason?
Not that it's never really a reason. It's because you don't need a reason to not want to do something. Period.
Right.
Like, it's your life. You do whatever the hell you want. But the justifications that come out of people's mouths are weird, rather than you just saying, I don't want kids. You know what I mean? I just
Either
don't want to
way.
take care of kids.
Either
But
way.
it's like, oh, my body. Like,
Either
you know,
way,
certain
that's
things.
a woman's thing, though. You would never understand what that has to do.
That's
because
very true.
you don't have none of that.
That's very true.
Exactly. So
But
you
look.
could period that. And
But look, when that happens, and then subconsciously you're actually making steps to want children. Now you're
Like
doing
biologically?
You feel what I'm saying? Like, because a lot of times, yes, we convince ourselves of a lot of things. And if you watch my previous episodes, which you should do, go check those out. If you watch my previous episodes, it's about, you know, being aware of what you're doing in the moment. You have a lot of people that are feeling one way, and then when they renege or they change how they're feeling, it goes a different way. And then it makes the counterpart feel a certain way, and then it just masterizes this tension that, you know.
I mean, that goes
Because-
back to the poor communication.
That's what I'm
Like,
saying. And like, I feel like, well, do you think that society has such a hold on our mental state that that no matter where we look, whether it be women complimenting men and men complimenting women, or you got guy code versus girl code, or whatever the case may be, when you have those things, don't you feel like for some reason it's like a battle of like who's doing it more? And it's like, no, y'all both are doing it. You have guys that are like, oh, I don't want to have kids. I don't want to take care of kids. And then you have women that don't want to have kids and don't want to take care of kids. But the judgment that comes from a man to a woman and a woman to a man is
It's all
so.
like harshness, like
That's what I'm saying. It's so
Harshness,
unique.
like-
It's so unique because it's
Very
like, oh,
particular idea.
you don't want to have kids, so I have to respect that. I have to respect that because that's your body, just as you was
You
about
gotta
to tell
respect,
me.
period. That's
Exactly. But that's what I'm saying. The double standard of respecting of the others.
Yeah, so to answer your question, like, do I think society has a hold on me? Hell no. I'm too strong-willed. I'm too powerful. I'm too in my head. I know what's real. And I'm aware of my power and
Nigga said
myself.
wielded.
Hello. That's a word, you heard? Strong-willed. Get out of here. They definitely got a control
Back a
on
little
everybody else, though, you know? So I feel like it is all about the strength of the mind, and like people who are, that's why it's true we're talking about genders right now, but ideally it boils down to the individual. If you're weak in the mind, you will fold and fall to whatever life throws at you. And the devil works very hard. I don't know if y'all believe in that, but he do. So you're gonna get caught up.
That's a fact.
You know, if you don't want kids, I don't care. You don't like to take care of kids, I don't care. You did this, you did that. At the end of the day, you will be forgiven if you know, obviously you're literally and seriously towards changing your life for the better. Other than that, you know, you're living a faulty life. Because who cares if you don't want kids? I don't care. Like, you understand?
That's true. But where I was getting to was the respect.
Oh, that's everything.
Because now there's been a movement for some odd years or some odd decades that is demanding respect for you guys in certain areas where you guys did not have the backing, or at least the I want to say not platform, because it's not
Foundation,
not
maybe?
everybody needs a platform to do, you know.
Well, representation
But
is very important.
representation.
Very important.
You guys had the proper representation behind you
voice.
and voice to voice your, I want to say,
Viewpoint, maybe?
not viewpoints, but your disappointments with society.
Okay, so just to point out on the aspect of respect, it's very hard as a woman to have a room full of men making laws and dictating what a woman should do with her body.
That's very true.
When they would never understand what childbirth is, breastfeeding, having to have an abortion. Those are like some deep ass, life-changing, altering, literally every word in the book in the world. And you're telling me you're trying to dictate? That's disrespectful. And that's where it comes with the whole divide and the battle of the sexes with the genders. Because I feel men want to be in control of shit they don't know. And that's a problem. That's a very big problem.
That's true.
You know?
I can see why you could have that type of
stress.
I didn't mean to cut you off.
No.
I can understand why you could have that type of, mentality. But for so many more years, there have been more men in you guys' corner. You get what I'm saying? Because if that's the case, many of these types of abortion laws wouldn't get passed.
But check it. Either way,
many of these things wouldn't still be happening.
There should be a change. You understand?
That's a fact.
Regardless if y'all men are in, like, it's beautiful. Like, of course, you
I know
be
just
grateful.
what I'm gonna end it on, and you gave me the perfect segue.
Grateful, for the support of the man who cares about women's rights and cares about moving forward in humanity and really, fixing these things for us, because at the end of the day, it's not right. Period. So, either way, if you guys are on our corner, we need to see change. We don't care about you. Pat my back. Okay, I can pat my own back. Can we make some change? That's what we care. We want to see results. We want to see the change. But it's been what, decades, centuries of women fighting
Can I ask you
for
one
basic
question?
shit.
What basic shit don't you guys have now?
It's more or less like with pay and like in corporate, like sexual harassment things, the things I said, abortion and things like of that nature. Like I said, is not a man's world.
I understand that, but I think, and this is why I said this is a perfect
don't
segue.
think you understand.
That's good. You can voice that, but the reason why I feel like I understand where you're coming from is because I wouldn't want a woman telling me how I should act. But you want to know what the difference is? I don't have a group behind me helping me voice the correct way to tell y'all that y'all shouldn't be doing what y'all doing. Granted, we have had centuries of shitting on y'all.
So what you gotta say after that?
See, and that's the thing.
That's what it is. Like, you can't diminish the centuries of
It's
us
not
fighting.
diminishing it. It's the simple fact that when a woman is constantly wanting change, it's hard to see the change. No, listen to what I'm saying. This is what I'm talking now.
All right, so let's
Because
see.
you haven't tried to understand my point since we started talking about respect.
You think
And this
so?
is what I mean.
All right, let's see.
It's the constant ability to dismiss what we are saying. Granted, we have been wrong for so many years. And I am one of those men that actively take steps every day to do better as a man in this society. Now, when you are so focused on what needs to change, what this needs to change, it's not changing. Even if you guys could think about any type of situationships, relationships, job situations, whatever the case may be. If you're constantly wanting it to change, you are not looking at what is already there.
Okay.
Granted, you don't see a whole world of niggas just stop raping women. You don't see a whole room of people that have been acting a certain way just stop acting that way. It takes some time. And we don't live in a perfect world. But what you do need to realize is when you guys are receiving the change. Now, when you get some of the change out of the person you've been receiving hostility from, a change of attitude should happen. There's been no change of attitude, and the attitude has been the same, as if there aren't more men sticking up for certain types of women rather than women bashing the same type of women.
I mean, it sounds very good.
Okay.
Sounds very good, but I just feel like from a man's viewpoint, yes, you hit a lot of points, and I can agree with you, yes. But to actually stand and be a woman, the same way as a black man, I'm sure, waking up every day in your skin and this society, I'm sure is like that's a whole nother conversation. But as a woman, it's just much more difficult. But I don't want to say that and then Men feel like, oh, how is more difficult? You know, I feel like it's a battle. So, I don't know. That's just my point on that.
Yeah, I can see where you're coming from. This was a very, very interesting topic. I want you guys to like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you guys think. I want to say thank you to the lovely Miss Fuckets.
Fucking to this bitch is Desiree, though. I like to be called Desiree. Thank you for having me. I truly appreciate it. I love to talk my ish. Like and subscribe.
Till next time, I'll holla at you guys.